It's August 9th here in Seoul, and I'm Kim Dami. We begin with these stories making the headlines at this hour. Starting with another golden day for South Korea in taekwondo. South Korea's Kim Yu-jin captured a gold medal in women's taekwondo for the country's second title in 2 days in the sport. Ranked 24th in the world, Kim Yu-jin not only placed herself on top of the podium, but also secured her country's first 57-kilogram gold in 16 years. One North Korean defected to South Korea on Thursday by crossing the neutral zone of the Hangang River estuary located west of the inter-Korean land border. Authorities are now looking into details of the defection, including the motive and the exact defection route. Israeli forces continue to push ahead with attacks in Gaza, this time with airstrikes that left at least 40 Palestinians dead. Israel's security cabinet held an underground meeting, which they claim was a part of its emergency training.
Good morning, I'm Kim Seong. The Paris Summer Olympic Games are coming to an end, with just 2 days left until the closing ceremony on Sunday. Now here are some of Thursday's highlights from the Games. Starting with taekwondo, where South Korea's Kim Yu-jin captured gold in the women's 57-kilogram event on Thursday, claiming the first crown for Team Korea in the category in 16 years. Kim beat Nahid Kiani of Iran by 2-0 in the finals at the Grand Palais, with game scores of 5-1 and 9-0. 23-year-old Kim, who is only ranked 24th in the world, knocked off 4 of the world's top 5 athletes in her weight division before reaching the final, including world number 1 Luo Zongxi of China in the semi-finals and number 2 Kiani in the gold medal match. That gold has pushed South Korea to tie its previous Summer Games record with 13 gold medals. The country is in 6th place on the Paris medal table. In sport climbing, South Korea's Seo Chae-hyun advanced to the women's combined event final on Thursday as the 20-year-old vies for Team Korea's first ever medal in the category. Seo qualified for the event final after finishing 8th overall among 20 climbers on Thursday at the Le Bourget sport climbing venue in the north of Paris. She tied for 4th in the lead semi-final with 72.1 points after struggling in bouldering with 44.2 points earlier this week, snatching a ticket to Saturday's final with 116.3 points in total. 3 climbers topped her in the lead category as Janja Gambret of Slovenia and Ai Mori of Japan scored 96.1 points, and Jessica Pils of Austria followed with 88.1 points. The South Korean is currently ranked world number 3 in lead and 18 in bouldering. 8 finalists will compete for the podium on Saturday in both bouldering and lead events on the same day. Team South Korea lost to China in the semi-finals of the women's table tennis team event on Thursday, which still leaves the chance of winning a bronze medal on the table. Now, South Korea's Shin Yu-bin, Lee Eun-hye and Jeon Ji-hee went down 3-0 against Han Ying-sha, Chen Meng and Wang Man-yu of China after 1 doubles and 2 singles matches at South Paris Arena 4 on Thursday. While some anticipated a surprise outcome, China's Sun, Chen, Wang, who are ranked 1, 2 and 3 in women's singles and world rankings, took down Team Korea without much of a fight. Shin, who won the mixed doubles bronze medal earlier in the Games, said, "We want to finish our last match with a medal," adding that it wasn't nerves that got her, but that she and Jeon were simply outplayed by the Chinese team. Team Korea will now compete for a bronze medal in the deciding contest on Saturday against Germany, who lost to Japan 3-1 in Thursday's other semi-final match. Athletics are in full swing as we come towards the end of the Summer Olympic Games. In the women's 400-meter hurdles, Sydney McLaughlin-Levron of the US won the gold medal in a new world record time of 50.37 seconds on Thursday. Now, that marked the 5th time the American athlete had beaten her own world record, all while becoming the first female to win back-to-back gold at the Olympics in the event since the sport's debut in 1984 at the Los Angeles Games. In men's 200-meter race, Letsile Tebogo of Botswana stormed to the top of the podium with an African record of 19.46 seconds at the Stade de France on Thursday, denying 100-meter gold medalist Noah Lyles a sprint double. Tebogo's medal is Botswana's first ever Olympic gold, which he dedicated to his late mother as he put his spikes to the camera to show her date of birth and had the initials of her name painted on his fingernails. Tebogo said, "I believe she could be one of the happiest people on the planet." Immediately after the race, Lyles, who won bronze in the event, tested positive for COVID and was helped off the track in a wheelchair.
Team Korea continued to prove themselves at the Paris Summer Games, bringing a pleasant surprise in terms of medals being brought home. And not only was it their talent that stole the world's attention, but also their charisma and charm. For more, let's turn to Professor Kim Tae-ri this morning. Welcome to our program.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us. So Team Korea headed to Paris with a goal of securing 5 gold medals. They've captured 13 golds so far, far more than expected, which turned out to be a pleasant surprise. Was the 5 gold medal goal just a case of being humble?
All right, so Team Korea is far exceeding expectations. Initially, the Korean Sport and Olympic Committee suggested 5 gold medals. This number only included the most certain ones, 3 in archery and 2 in fencing. But we swept all 5 golds in archery, and unexpected goals also poured in from shooting and taekwondo. Back in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, 238 Korean athletes competed in 29 events. In Tokyo, on the same continent with no time difference, Team Korea won 6 golds, finishing 16th overall. In Paris this time, 144 athletes are competing in 22 events, which is the smallest delegation in 48 years. So considering the exceptionally small number of athletes, the time difference in Paris, and the results of the previous Tokyo Games, setting a goal of 5 golds was not unreasonable. But thankfully, our athletes are achieving great results, not only in traditional strong events, but also in a variety of other sports as well.
Absolutely. And this year, Korean athletes, like I said, captured the world's attention not only by impressing the world, with their talents, but also by showing off their fun and unique characters, namely pistol shooter Kim Hye-ji and Shin Yu-bi in table tennis. What do you think made them stand out so much?
Well, I think the improved training environment in Korea has helped not only develop their skills, but also highlight their unique characters. Moving from the old strict system to a more open and scientific training environment has made training and competitions more enjoyable for athletes. For a long time, Korean athletes have aimed for Olympic gold medals, and those who won silver or bronze often felt like they just disappointed the nation. The greater the desire for victory, the more nervous athletes might feel on the big stage like Olympics. But it seems that the athletes have now learned how to channel their desire for victory into positive energy by focusing on the game and enjoying the process. Systematic mental training may have contributed to this. Now, people love to see the new generation of athletes enjoying the process, competition, and their achievement. And our athletes are showing that sports can be enjoyed without obsessing over medals, which is a very positive change, a true sportsmanship, and the Olympic value as well.
Right, I think that's what made it even more fun for us, sports fans, to watch their games. And we have to talk about South Korea taking back the #1 spot in taekwondo, finally adding gold medals in the traditional martial arts at the Paris Olympics. How meaningful is this?
Well, as the birthplace of Taekwondo, it holds a lot of significance. Since it became an Olympic sport in 2000, Korea has won 12 gold medals in 6 Olympics, but we didn't win any golds in Tokyo. Now, Park Tae-jun has become the first South Korean to win a gold in men's under 58 kilogram weight class, and it's Korea's first gold in 16 years in men's event. Kim Yu-jin's gold in the women's 57 kilogram weight class early this morning is the first gold in this event in 16 years as well. We should also note that Taekwondo is now a universally loved sport. And in Olympic Taekwondo, about 60 countries compete and around 25 countries win medals. Taekwondo has continuously made efforts to enhance the excitement of the game by amending the game rules several times and to improve the fairness of judging. So the globalization of Taekwondo has definitely raised the level of competition. So now even Korea can't guarantee medals anymore. It's great to win medals, of course, but I think it's time that we should acknowledge and be more proud of Taekwondo's worldwide popularity.
Definitely. Professor Kim, in which sport do you think Korean athletes show the most potential in your opinion? I mean, any sport that you think South Korean athletes are looking to thrive in the near future?
In the Paris Olympics, South Korean athletes did best ever in archery, fencing, and shooting. So I believe these bow, gun, and sword sports will continue to perform well as long as the Olympics continue. Also, new sports introduced by the IOC to attract younger audiences, such as skateboarding and breaking, could become major successes only if they get national support and good training. I think our Korean athletes can really do well in these areas with right support and preparation. And to boost public interest in Olympics and foster national unity, it's clear that we need more progress, especially in team sports like soccer. It's disappointing that among team ball sports, only women's handball participated in the Paris Olympics.
Right. Well, before I let you go, Professor Kim, how well do you think Team Korea will finish off the Summer Games? I mean, will Team Korea be able to return home with a record number of medals? I mean, we've secured 13 golds so far. How many more do you think?
Of course, it's definitely reasonable to have high expectations. Team Korea still had several gold medal contenders left, such as weightlifter Park Hae-jung, high jumper Woo Sang-yeop. We also have world top-ranked modern pentathletes Jeon Eun-tae and Song Seung-min, and there are still more taekwondo matches to come. So I cautiously predict that we might win 1 or 2 more golds from these events. In the last Tokyo Olympics, Korea ranked 16th overall with 6 gold medals. In this Paris Olympics, I think Team Korea will be able to take home around 14 gold medals and finish the games around 6th or 7th in overall ranking. But still, it's important for the public and media to pay attention not only to those who win medals, but also to the athletes in events that may not achieve podium finishes. So let's all just enjoy the games and cheer for the athletes together.
Definitely. Fingers crossed. All right, Professor Kim, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you.
One North Korea made a defection to South Korea on Thursday by crossing the maritime border between the two Koreas. The person reportedly crossed the neutral zone of the Hangang River estuary, located west of the inter-Korean border, and arrived at South Korea's Gyeodong Island in Incheon, expressing their intention to defect. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff announced that it has secured custody of an unidentified individual presumed to be from North Korea and handed the person over to relevant authorities without providing further details. A military official reportedly said the water level in Hangang River estuary was low at the time, so the defector crossed on foot. Now, this is the first time in about a year and 3 months since a North Korean defected to the south by crossing the western sea border. Israel's Security Cabinet held a meeting underground as part of its emergency training. And the Israeli military continued its airstrikes throughout Gaza, this time killing at least 40 Palestinians. Lee Seung-jae has more.
Amid fears of a massive Iranian retaliatory attack against Israel for the killing of a Hamas leader and a top Hezbollah commander, the Israeli Security Cabinet held a meeting at an underground bunker known as the Pit, on Thursday night. Despite rumors that the meeting took place at the underground command room over fears of an Iranian strike, Israel says the event was a drill for a potential emergency situation. Located under the Security Ministry's headquarters, the last time such a meeting took place at the Pit was in April, when Iran responded to an Israeli attack on its embassy in Syria by firing hundreds of drones and missiles toward Israeli targets. Meanwhile, amid an escalation in tensions in the Middle East, Israel is continuing to conduct airstrikes throughout Gaza, killing at least 40 Palestinians. This includes airstrikes at a cluster of houses at Al-Barej camp, where at least 15 were killed, and a nearby camp where 4 others were killed. The 2 camps are considered some of the more densely populated areas in the region, but are also seen by Israel as strongholds for Hamas. The Israeli military also struck 2 schools east of Gaza, killing 15 Palestinians. Israel says it conducted airstrikes at Hamas military targets. Since last October, close to 40,000 Palestinians have been killed and more than 90,000 others injured. 이승재, Arirang News.
U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump will hold their first face-off at a presidential debate hosted by ABC early next month. Our Choi Min-jung has the details.
U.S. presidential nominees Kamala Harris and Donald Trump have agreed to debate on ABC News on September 10th. The network announced in a statement on Thursday that the vice president and the former president both confirmed their attendance. Speaking at a news conference, Trump said he's looking forward to the face-off and that he wants to add 2 more debates.
With all of that being said, I think it's very important to have debates, and we've agreed with Fox on a date of September 4th. We've agreed with NBC.
Fox News proposed a debate between Harris and Trump early next month, and NBC News is also planning to air one later in September. Harris posted on social media that she was looking forward to the September 10th debate after Trump finally committed, and she told reporters that she was open to discussing more debates. Amid a tight race between the 2 candidates, Trump suggested he should be able to influence decisions made by the Federal Reserve if he becomes president again. With growing concern over a U.S. recession, Trump said that people on Wall Street believe if he doesn't win, the U.S. is going to have a depression. He also highlighted his first term when he claimed the country had, quote, perfect inflation. Meanwhile, the war in the Middle East is another factor dividing the Republicans and the Democrats. During a campaign rally in Detroit on Wednesday night, Harris fired back at pro-Palestinian protesters of Israel's war in Gaza as they interrupted her speech, shouting that they won't vote for genocide.
You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that, otherwise I'm speaking.
With an Ipsos poll released Thursday showing Harris and Trump neck and neck in swing states, it remains to be seen whether the first debate between Harris and Trump will lead to a massive change in the race. Choi Min-jung, Arirang News.
South Korea's economy is expected to expand 2.5% in 2024. This is what a South Korea's economy think tank believes, and it's lower than what it projected back in May. Now, poor domestic demand due to a prolonged trend of high interest rates was the main trigger to lower the outlook. Kim Bo-kyung reports.
Weak domestic demand constraining on export-led recovery. That is how a major state-run think tank, the Korea Development Institute, evaluated South Korea's economy, while revising down the country's economic growth outlook. The KDI cut this year's economic growth forecast to 2.5% on Thursday, marking a 0.1 percentage point fall from its earlier projection presented in May. The outlook is on par with those by the International Monetary Fund and Bank of Korea, and is lower than those made by South Korean government and the OECD, which forecast a 2.6% growth. Primarily fueled by semiconductors, exports are forecast to grow at a faster clip, with the institute jacking up the export growth forecast this year from 5.6% to 7%. It shared a rather grim outlook, however, for consumer spending and equipment investment, revising the consumption down to 1.5% from its earlier forecast of 1.8%. and cutting its projection for facility investment to 0.4% from the previous 2.2%.
The growth of domestic demand centered on private consumption and facility investment is expected to fall short of earlier projections. Considering the prolonged trend of high interest rates compared to consumer prices and economic conditions, the recovery of domestic demand is likely to be delayed.
Due to weak domestic demand and falling global oil prices due to potential slowdown in the U.S. and China, consumer prices are forecast to climb 2.4% this year, which is 0.2 percentage points lower than in the forecast in May. The think tank also cited external factors, such as geopolitical risks in the Middle East or a sharp economic downturn in China or the U.S., as potential risks that could slow South Korea's economic growth. Kim Bo-kyung, Arirang News.
South Korea's population in about 50 years is projected to shrink to around 36 million. That's a 30% decline from the current 51 million. That's pushing many non-capital regions to pour efforts to keep their cities and towns alive. And Goseong-gun County is dealing with the issue through sports marketing. Our Park Gun reports.
Goseong-gun is a county in Gyeongsangnam-do province located in the southern part of the Korean peninsula with less than 50,000 residents. Due to its continuously shrinking population, the region has been coming up with new ways to address the crisis. One of the representative ways is rebranding the county as an optimal spot for sports events and off-season training, with its great facilities and infrastructure, bringing in many athletes from different regions.
Training facilities here are good, especially because this year's National Sports Festival will be held in Goseong, and it's a great opportunity to watch and learn each player's strengths while training.
In the first half of 2024, Goseong-gun County held 41 sports events, including international and national sports competitions, including for triathlon, handball, and soccer. Attracting over 80,000 people during that period, the county created an economic effect worth around $4 million, twice as much as in the previous year. Goseong-gun County calculated the economic effect by multiplying the visitors, athletes, coaches, and families with the predicted average cost of around $54 per day for accommodation and food.
Accommodation costs accounts for the biggest pie among the total spending. Then it will be food costs, as it's important to eat well during off-season training. Food costs are huge as we try to consume meat each meal.
With more people coming into the region, an official of Goseong-gun County spoke about plans to accept the increasing number of visitors.
We will continue to expand the infrastructure for sports facilities. For example, we already built the first baseball stadium in the previous year and the second one in May to welcome more baseball players.
He also spoke about plans for increasing lodging facilities, including youth hostels, so that the county can hold more sports events. Along with these efforts, Goseong-gun County aims to create an economic effect of over $6 million in the latter half of the year. In order to do so, this coastal county aims to bring more people into the region by hosting scores of sports events and off-season training for teams and athletes, as it did in the first half of the year. Park Gun, Arirang News, Goseong.
Good morning. Simmering summer heat continues to bake much of Korea today. Seoul has had 19 consecutive tropical nights as of today, 25 nights for Jeju. And we are expecting at least 10 more tropical nights this season. Meanwhile, there are more sudden downpours for certain parts of Korea and parts of Jeju today. 5 to 40 millimeters of passing rain is expected for south, while Jeju Island will see on and off showers during the day today. Now, afternoon temperatures in Seoul and Gwangju will be at 34 degrees, Daegu topping out at 35 degrees Celsius. Skies will remain sunny for central areas with very strong UV rays expected. Then, a passing rain is in the forecast in the west this weekend with intense heat expected again next week. Now, many of us in Korea are waiting for Choseol, the second autumn season vacation term, and that's when we can expect a big cool down from the searing heat, and that falls on the 22nd of this month. So take care until then. With that in mind, here's a look at the international weather conditions.
We thank you for watching New Day at Arirang. We will be back next Monday.